how can we make an economy system in our games? Hello, howdy, and good day, my fellow gamers and game devs. My name is Ricky, and I'm a first-time indie game dev working on my very first game, Cosmic Renegade. Welcome to Devlog number 6. In my last devlog, which was only last week, I talked about scope creep affecting my game. This was because a while back I decided to focus on the combat portion of my game, and literally nothing else. What was I thinking? This time, I wanted to stay as far away from combat as possible so that I could work on, the rest of my game. Specifically these parts. So, here's the game plan. See, for this prototype, the player starts on a planet, and they use their starting money to buy commodities that planet is exporting. Then, they'll find a planet that's importing the goods that they just bought and travel there. When they arrive at that new planet, they can sell the goods they bought for a nice tidy little profit, which they can promptly use to buy this planet's exports. And the loop goes on and on, making the player richer and richer. The loop is pretty good, and there are countless ways to improve on it in the future. For example, we can introduce fuel and food as resources needed for travel to control the pacing of the game. We can also add ship upgrades for the player to spend their coins on. We can also add events like missions and encounters that would involve more combat-oriented stuff, and of course, tie into the story of my game. But if I've learned anything from last time, I'm going to try my best to keep things simple for now. I suppose we should start by creating our planets. So, the first planet that I sort of thought of was something that I came up with as I was listening to lo-fi music and drinking some coffee, developing this game, and that is Isla de Lo-Fi. This is the cultural center of the galaxy where a lot of the artists and also students go to. Its primary export, of course, is coffee. So this coffee needs to go somewhere. So I'm going to introduce you to my next planet, which is something that I designed kind of a while back. This was the first planet ever. Nova Juka. It is a relatively new settlement in this galaxy, meant as a scrapyard, because it is located at the site of one of the great battles from the previous war fought in this world of mine. Now, Nova Juka takes in the coffee from Isla de Lo-Fi. The people that work in the scrapyards need to drink it so that they can collect as much scrap as they can from the decommissioned battle fleets. Where does that scrap go to? Well, that scrap is going to a project for building lots and lots of housing and cities in Troutopia. This is the home of the strongest fish. They actually troutons. Troutons look like salmon, but they call themselves troutons, and their primary export is water because they live in a water world. Because of course, this water is exported to all corners of the galaxy. Everybody needs water to survive, but Isla de Lo-Fi needs it the most to produce that wonderful coffee. So let me just zoom out real quick. These are the three kind of starting planets that we have. So yeah, I'm very excited to code these up. But before we keep going, I think it's important for me to explain what scriptable objects are in Unity and how I'm using them for my planets. Scriptable objects are essentially like forms or templates you can use to store a specific set of information as a Unity asset. For example, the template for a planet would have fields for a name, a description, and in my case, I wanted to include a list of exports and imports. To create any of my planets, I simply need to fill out this form. My first planet, Troutopia, is the water world home for the Troutons, who are a militaristic salmon-like people. It exports water, and it imports scrap metal because they are constructing surface dwellings to open their planet up for trade. Once the data is saved as an asset, I can load this information by referencing it anytime that I need to. For example, instead of having to write a separate script for each planet, I wrote a single planet loader that loads whichever planet I point it to. To make new planets, all I have to do is fill out my handy-dandy template. CodeMonkey has a much more in-depth explanation of scriptable objects and how to use them. Check out his channel. I mean, most of my indie dev journey is thanks to him. Now, let's get cracking on that coding montage. Alright, starting up a new Unity project, and I am off to the races, starting with the scriptable objects for planets and also the thing that's going to load the planets, the planet loader. After that, I am starting, of course, with Troutopia. Also adding a scriptable object for commodities. Commodities are things like water, coffee, scrap. The player is going to be able to trade. Speaking of the player, I'm now writing the script for the that's going to represent the player in the world. And now I'm also adding the ability to buy some commodities. Debugging with a few debug lines there. Also making sure that the commodities stay in the player's inventory. Now working on the cell code. Debugging the cell code by getting some of these prices correct. And also double checking the inventory so that when I sell the right thing, it gives me the correct coins back. Now I am working on adjusting the price based on the planet's import and export list. So you see me adding some commodities to the planets, and I'm going to make sure that if the planet is exporting the price, it is a discount at 20%, and if it is importing that commodity, it is a increase of 20%. That way the player gets a profit. Now I am trying to figure out how to make a galactic map. Purely for navigation purposes, we need to make sure that the player can only interact with the planet that they're actually on. Before that wasn't the case, but now I'm trying to get that to happen. All of this, by the way, is controlled through just keyboard presses. I've just been assigning stuff to buttons like spacebar, tab, and I think I have in the final version, I have it by B, S, Cell. And you can change planets with the arrow keys. You can also change which commodity you're trading with the A and D buttons. And then testing, and I'm done. Whew! That was a lot of work. But here's what the finished prototype looks like. Hello and good evening. I guess it's morning right now. But I'm back on Unity. I'm going to show you exactly how what exactly is going on here. But because there's absolutely no UI, I am going to do my best to draw it all out. So what is actually happening here is that we are starting in Troutopia with about 100 coins to our name. You can see the coin level right here on the inspector. We are in Troutopia and we are looking to trade some water. I can also query the water price by hitting Q on my keyboard. Price of water is 8 coins. Wonderful. I can also change which one I'm looking at. So if I look at coffee, coffee is worth 25 here. And if I look at scrap, that is worth 18. So let's clear this off the board. We are going to look at water again. Water is 8 coins, and we're just going to buy up all of the water. Troutopia is exporting water, that much we know. So we're going to buy as much of it as we can. To do that, I'm going to hit the B button to buy, and you can see my coins are starting to go down. I'm just going to buy as much as I can because I don't need to buy any fuel yet. I didn't implement that. So we are down to our last couple of dimes, but we bought a bunch of water. I don't really remember how much water I bought, but the good thing is I can check my inventory by pressing the I key. I have 12 condensed water from Troutopia. Now, in order to make our money back with a little bit more profit, we should be traveling to a different planet. So you can see down here, I have this galaxy map script. I can change the selected planet. Right now it's selected on Tratopia, but I want to go to Isla de Lo-Fi because that planet imports water. So water is at a higher price than it is in Tratopia. So to do that, I can change the planet of interest on the galactic map by changing to Isla, by using the arrow keys. Wow, my brain. We're not gonna go to Nova Druka yet, but we're gonna go to Isla de Lo-Fi. To travel there, all I have to do is press enter. Boom. And you can see that this little thing up here changed. Our current planet is now Isla de Lo-Fi. So let me update that. We went from here up to here. Wonderful. And we now only have 4 coins. But not to worry, we are gonna sell some of that off. Let me clear this off the board. How much is water at said planet? 12. So if you recall, we bought water for 8 coins. We can sell it here for 12. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. To sell, all I have to do is hit the S key, and now we're gonna watch our coins go up. I'm hitting S as much as we can. And 148 seems like that's all of it. We can double check that we sold all of our water by again hitting I to check our inventory. Inventory looks empty. So we have sold all of our water and we earned about 48 coins. Pretty good. While all of that was going on, I did post to Reddit on r/gaming to ask for help with my economy system. I got some really good feedback, specifically from a user named Meaningful Choices. Thank you so much. He told me that I should start by creating a spreadsheet economy, which I never ever considered that. Definitely gonna do that when I have more than like 3 commodities. But I also got this comment, which worried me. Was building my economy system just another form of feature creep? Was I falling into the same trap again? Am I making my game more complicated than it needs to be? Should I even be thinking about this right now? Or should I just follow my heart and do what it's telling me to do, which is just to keep going? And what about the game itself? I mean, my goal was to make something that was fun, even in its most basic form. It has potential, I'll give it that. But will this be the one that I'm happy enough to release out into the world? Or will it be yet another failed prototype thrown into my ever-growing vault? Find out next time on the Cosmic Renegade Devlog. For now, see you in space, cowboys. So, how did you like the format of the video this time? Was it better or worse than before? I'm trying to be a bit more of a storyteller in my devlogs, but I'm also trying to publish weekly, at least for a short period of time. I have no idea how long that's gonna last. It's pretty ambitious of me, I think. But I don't know. I feel like I'm getting into the swing of things, and I really enjoy the push that making videos gives me to work on my game. You know, I want to be able to show some cool stuff to you guys every week. I don't know how long that's gonna last, but hopefully longer than I'm thinking. Anyway, see you later.